a lot less and get a lot more experience. Our CFOs have seen 20 or 30 companies in the time one CFO sees one. So it's a very powerful model, very low cost, very high value. And that is actually, besides the self-serving part of that announcement, it leads us to an introduction, because Lex Watterson and Executech, that's what they do on the tech side of the world. So let's give you Lex and his team.
Thank you very much. Our team today is going to be talking about Office 365 and how it makes IT more powerful for businesses of all sizes. So Executech is an outsourced IT provider. We take care of all things technical for businesses, smaller businesses, anywhere from 1 or 2 computers to several hundred computers. And in fact, we have one client with 2,500 computers all around the world. We run the computer network for several hundred companies, most of them based here in the state of Utah, but we also have clients in all the western states, and they have offices all around the world. We're a 5-time winner of the Best in State Award for IT services, and none of our competitors have ever won that award. One of the great things about Executech is we don't require contracts with any of our customers. We're on a month-to-month agreement with all of them. If you don't like us, you can get rid of us. It's just that no one ever does, because our clients love us. So we have 50 Tier 3 technical consultants, and that means you don't call into a knock and get one guy who doesn't know what he's doing, who sends you to somebody else who kind of knows what they're doing, and you finally get the guy who really knows how to solve your problem. All of our technical consultants can handle everything from help desk, office suite type issues to servers, firewalls, your phones, your hosted cloud server, anything related to technology, our people manage. And we assign a specific technical consultant, one of those 50 people, to your company. You call it directly every time you have an issue. So those are some of the things that we do. Outsource IT management, other companies that have an IT department but lack the specific expertise we fill in, hosted products and equipment sales, and we offer for anyone here today or watching online, if you wish, free network monitoring, a free IT assessment, and Office 365 the first month free. So I'm going to turn the time over to 2 of our technical consultants, Brandon Barnett and Brian Haslip. Brian is one of the probably 8 to 10 veterans that we have that work at Executech. And when I say veterans, we have both active duty and former military people on our staff at Executech. So Brandon and Brian, take it over.
Okay, so I just wanted to talk briefly about how the IT world is changing. I think everybody's heard that cloud is something that's coming. It's something that's taking over kind of the IT world. And so we've got some stats that are provided by Microsoft. We just wanted to go over really quick. There's a quote up here by the former CEO of General Electric. And if the rate of change on the outside exceeds the rate of change on the inside, you get this here. Anybody want to take a stab at what that means?
Well, people can't tell that you're progressive because you don't have the right branding, marketing, advertising. Then it's like you don't have it at all.
Exactly. And oh yeah, sure. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
When I look at that is I think the cloud is coming, and it's going to keep coming whether we're ready for it or not. So if we don't take the initiative to prepare ourselves for cloud and also for the way business is changing, we will not be relevant. So to go along with that, right now 50% of business email users primarily rely on a service tablet or other mobile device. We see that very much in what we do. A lot of users want to use something small, sleek, that they can take with them anywhere, and they need software that's able to do what a traditional desktop can do, but be mobile. So 6 times is the percentage of desks that are currently vacant today. 60%. Sorry.
6 times enough.
Okay, gotcha. And then 90% is the amount of data that's been created in the last 2 years. When we were first looking at that statistic, myself and Brian, we had a hard time believing that. But really, it makes total sense. Storage has gotten a lot cheaper, and if you look at the size of the files that you used to create, they are a lot smaller than the size of files now. You have documents that are, or images that are 50, 60 times the size of old images. So you have to have a solution that is able to scale, and traditionally a lot of on-premise equipment isn't scalable like the cloud is. Brian and I are going to go over a couple of these different items that are part of the new release of Office 365. One of the great new features is what they call co-authoring. This is something that we use even for ourselves now. And what it allows you to do is if you're using the online versions of the Office apps, so Excel Online, Word Online, you can actually have multiple parties logged into the same document and editing and making changes real time. So if you're working in a spreadsheet wanting to find numbers and crunch numbers, and you have 5 or 6 people that need to see this, you're doing it real time, not saving it and emailing back and forth. You're all there working together, and you can see what's going on. Another place where they've made some big improvements is in Skype meetings. Microsoft purchased Skype a while back, and they've really taken that technology and improved upon it. And the new Skype product is a great solution. It is included with Office 365, so you don't have to go out and purchase a third-party sharing platform. And you have access to all of your other Microsoft products from within the Skype platform. I was also going to talk a little bit about the Mac client and also the Office 365 apps for mobile devices. The new release of those, I've never been use one solution across all platforms, because the solutions across all platforms had different levels of functionality. It used to be when you tried to use your Outlook on a Mac, you didn't have the same experience that you had using it on a PC. It was slower, whatever the case may be. With the new release of the software, I have personal MacBook, I have PCs, and I have iOS devices. And I literally feel like I'm working in the same application across all platforms, which is a huge step up from the rest. So I will hand it over to Brian now to go over a couple of the other new things.
All right. So another portion that you'll see there is the OneNote shared notebooks. It's a lot like co-authoring for your OneNote notebooks. I don't know how many people actually use OneNote. It's been a product that's been included in Office for a long time, but a lot of people don't take advantage of it. It's a lot like Evernote. If you've ever used Evernote to keep track of your notes across online platforms. What's nice now is you can save it on your OneDrive account, and so you can actually access all of your notes and things like that you've taken on your phone, on your tablet, on your computer, wherever. It's a nice, simple solution for note-taking, keeping track of, kind of organizing your modern postage. The other one is the Office Anywhere. I don't know how many of you are actually using Office 365 now. You can actually install a full-blown version of Office on your tablets, on your devices, and with a lot more functionality than you had in the past. Before, you used to have very watered-down versions of products running on your phones, tablets, and other smaller devices, just because they couldn't handle it. They didn't have the capability to run the full-blown version of the product. So with Office 365 and the newer versions, it's very aware of what type of device you are installing it on, and so you get the correct version and the correct application for the devices that you're installing on. The other portion is through Microsoft Azure. They've done a really good job with the single sign-on. There's about 3,000 applications, both developed by Microsoft and other organizations, that allow you to take advantage of your Windows Live ID and sign in with all of those applications with your single ID. If you're using Dropbox, Box, like I said, there's thousands upon thousands of applications that you can take advantage of. It's already set up. You just need to enroll yourself in that program, and it's through Microsoft Azure. So it's really pretty smart. So, and then the other powerful analytics and analysis, all through your Office 365 platform, you can see where new users are signing in, who's using what within your Office 365 suite. So you can get a lot of in-depth analysis if and what you're purchasing as far as licensing goes, because it is kind of a la carte. You can assign different licenses to different users and save on cost that way. You know, if you don't need, if not every user needs a full-blown Office suite, you can purchase just Word for one user. And you can kind of see and give you some analytics on what your users are actually using within Microsoft Office.
Yeah, so the one other item I wanted to touch on, it takes advantage of OneDrive. Are you guys familiar with what OneDrive is? It's cloud storage that comes from your license with Microsoft Office 365. And they've added a new feature. You guys have to correct me if I say this wrong. Continuum? Continuum, okay. So that is a new feature with Office 365 that I find extremely helpful. It allows you to take documents that you're saving on your OneNote, and you can be working on it on your PC at home, get to a point where you need to leave, go to your office and open up your MacBook, your laptop, whatever it may be, and it opens up the document in the exact same spot you were editing it. You get done there, close, and you go home and you're watching something on TV and you need to pull it up really quick. You pull it up on your mobile device, and once again, you were in the same spot, working on the same document where you were, both on your PC and at work. So that's a new feature that I think is a game changer for somebody. There we go. So these are kind of just a couple of notes that Microsoft added about the thought they put in how they're trying to focus on Office 365. One thing that I've noticed is that it is a never-ending development cycle. They keep adding new features time and time again. And this is the thought behind how they're trying to do things. They're trying to create a collaborative piece of software where you can use one piece of software to do one suite of software to do everything you need to do in your business. So new things that they're rolling out as part of that, to go along with your Skype for Business, is their conferencing solution and their cloud PBX. So those are new features that are coming out and rolling out now that we'll be able to take that experience you're having with Office 365 and expand that to more aspects of your business. So we do have a couple of things we just wanted to show you really quick to go along with what we're talking about. So I think everybody's familiar with Outlook. This is the new version of Outlook, 2016. And it used to be that when you used Outlook, it had to access it from home. You had a very different experience if you logged into the cloud version of Outlook. It was rather frustrating, actually. But I wanted to log in, just log into my email here really quick and show you that the online experience has been improved to the point where you actually feel like you're working in a desktop application.
Now we know your password.
Close your eyes.
I know dots.
If you do, you can teach me how to do that.
I'm a ninja dot reader. That's why they call me dot matrix.
I have this year gamer. Oh my
It's a good gimmick. Nice hustle.
Microsoft guys, what's going on here?
There you go. By the way, I have a question. What's the difference between getting this on GoDaddy and going with you? Fair question?
Sure. The level of service would be the major difference. It pretty much costs what it costs. The difference would be if you have a problem with the administration, with your software on your machine, you're here. GoDaddy, you're going to call into somebody that you may or may not get an answer from.
Okay. All right.
That's the major difference. Yep. So, as you can see, my inbox, it's very similar to what you have running a desktop app. You have access to all your calendar items, you have your inbox, junk mail, you've got all your folders available online. They were a lot harder to access in the past. It just creates kind of a very smooth transition from cloud to local device. Any other questions anybody has? Luke?
So if I have Microsoft, and I apologize, I came a little bit late, so maybe you covered this, but if I have Microsoft, this 365 product in my office, and I put an appointment in on my desktop, will that automatically register on my phone?
Absolutely.
And if I have a reminder, it reminds me on my phone?
Yeah, I don't know what I would do without that. It pops up. It doesn't matter where I am. I'm usually around some device, my tablet, my phone, my home computer, my work computer, no matter where I'm at. If it's time for me to go, I get that pop-up saying, hey, you have 15 minutes to be ready to go.
Yeah, so it's not just that it syncs your email, your contacts, and your calendars, but if you're also using OneDrive or the other features, those also sync across multiple devices. And so with Office 365, one license of Office 365 is good for one person, but it's good for 5 devices that person owns. And so with one Office 365 license, you get the software for your computer at home, your computer at work, your laptop, your phone, your tablet. You see what I'm saying? It's great. It's licensing you for all the places that you use Office 365, and it's going to sync across all of those devices and situations.
Yeah, I mean, that's not Microsoft specific, but are you seeing a common challenge that companies are running into today with their IT? A common pain point or something that's overbearing right now?
Yeah, so actually, yes, in my opinion. One of the pain points that I see is, for small business in particular, is hiring IT people. You either hire someone that you're paying too much to do very little work because you have to have somebody, or you are very large and it's expensive to hire enough people to support what you have going on. That's kind of where we fit into the scheme of things. IT people are expensive. And so you're overpaying for one guy who has nothing to do, or you're way overpaying for a lot of guys who don't have enough time to do what needs to be done. Other things, I think, pain points are trying to figure out how the cloud fits into your business. Everybody's excited about it because it's a big buzzword. There's all these different applications and programs out there, and everybody wants to go to the cloud. but there's 10,000 different options of cloud for every different product. So finding finding the right solution for your vertical is a great challenge. Yep, exactly.
So I'm going to wrap up here with an answer, a second answer to your question, and then also make an offer to everybody here. Technology changes quickly. It's very difficult to keep up with that. The solutions that are the best solutions for your business today versus next year versus 5 years from now versus 10 years from now, that's always going to change. But one thing is not going to need. You're going to need a chief technical advisor. Whether your business is one person or 10,000 people, you're going to need that chief technical advisor. We run hundreds of computer networks, from simple to complex, from a wood shop to a multi-billion-dollar foreign exchange bank. We see all of the things that are happening. We're always in the flow of things, and so we can always advise your business. You come to us, tell us what you're trying to do. We can help you pick the right solution for you. And it doesn't matter what the technology is, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. That service you will always need, and that's what we do at Executech. If we have a question, the other day I had a prospective client say, do you know anything about this particular software? I've never heard about it. I sent an email out. Within 5 minutes I installed that at this client last week. I've been running it at this client for 3 months. I was on the support team at that company a year ago. You'll always need a chief technical officer. It's somebody to take care of your needs. We can scale up and down for you. So, we've got right here. So, here's my question for you today. Who takes care of your IT? Are you thrilled with them? If you're not, if there's anything you're unhappy with, we can help you. Just let us know who we would talk to about a free IT assessment. And we'll give you the first month free with Office 365. And I'm offering $100. It's a drawing for $100. Here's how you enter. How many of you have seen one of these cars driving around town? Right? Thanks. And who's seen one of the Executech cars? Okay. From now until Monday at 5 o'clock, once you see where one of those cards, you either email me, lex@executech.com or lex@helpwithcomputer.com, or call 877-4IT-BRAINS. I'll enter you into a drawing, and the winner gets $100. So give us a call, give us an email, $100, or we'll do a free IT assessment on the first month free of Office 365. Thank you.
Do you guys want to take a food break before we do Carl?
Before we do that, though, I want to say that we have one client in common that I know of, Joe, out in West Valley, and I see one of these. Can I be entered in the drawing? I saw the car. That was not a year and a half ago.
At the bar.
Yeah. So I know that you take care of it. I also know that extremely pleased with the efficiencies that are going on with his IT network based on the work provided by Executech. So I know he was very appreciative of that. So Joel's question is, do we want to take a food break now and then come back with the balance of the program?
What do you guys think? 5 minutes? We'll do it from a crowdsource standpoint. 5 minutes, give everybody enough time.
All right. Ready? Set?
Go! Go.
Go.
12:40 it is, folks.
Yeah.
Or you do better. Yeah. Yeah. We're 90% there. And I sold my building. We closed on it last week. So now, just get some office for No, it's well, for my house in Sandy, getting downtown well, for stuff like this. Yeah, I'll swing by. I'm downtown right now, and I'll swing by on the way down. All right. Thank you so much. So, my customers were so great. Our embroidery department, our network, you actually have to solve the embroidery. He stops answering. So you have to call it self-service. But they're moving today. So we'll have everything. Yeah, I got almost out of it. I bought it for $350, sold it for $430, but I had put $100,000, so I had to tax right off there. Better, clean up better than sand ground. It's a better $100,000. Charge what company you're
Okay, so lots of
Oh, yeah, I saw it.
Oh, okay.
And after that, all right, who's the timekeeper that's getting this thing on the road?
Yeah, but.
Test. All right, we're back on. Greg Mockett again with Preferred CFO. I have the privilege of introducing Carl Churchill with Mockett Loan Job. He's going to tell us a little bit about how he got started, what makes his company unique and interesting. One of those things is that he is a supporter of the U.S. military. So with every purchase that you make in Mockett Loan, he is doing service with the U.S. military. And chatting with him earlier, he said part of his inspiration for Mockett Loan Java was that he likes really good coffee. And with 20 plus years in the military, he had to still a really bad coffee. So that's still a motivation. So without any further ado,
Awesome.
Can everybody hear me okay? Cool. So I'm Carl Churchill. I'm the co-founder of Mockett Loan Java. My wife and I founded the company 5 years ago. Take about 15 minutes to go through this. Feel free to stop me anywhere along the way, ask questions, and we'll see if I can do the swiping right here. Okay, so this is a briefing overview. There'll be 3 main points. We'll start out with who we are. So we're entrepreneurs. It's a point that's been termed about the military members who started companies. If you look at small businesses across the United States, a disproportionate number of them are started and owned by vets. And there's a lot of theories behind why that happens. But I think part of it is, believe in yourself. You've been through some tough times. You know how to make things happen. And a lot of times you go to work for other people and it's not that cool. So, you decide you're going to do it yourself. So our tagline is vet owned, no compromise, premium coffee. This is your goal when you start a company. It's you want to make money. If you don't make money, then you're not going to survive. We started out with a social mission in addition to selling coffee, and that was we were going to take a portion of profits and donate it back to the military. The way we do that is we send coffee to troops that are deployed downrange, and we support military charities. We work with them to help them raise money and sometimes write checks to help them out. We do whatever we can to help our community. But early on, we found out that once we announced that intention, we were just inundated with requests. Can you send some coffee for this event? Can you do this? Can you do that? We talked to a mentor of ours who was not a military veteran, was in the coffee community and said, listen, if you want to be able to do good for the long term, you got to focus on this first. So we learned something in the first couple of years, and that was we have to balance that out. So food for thought. So this is what we do. We're Coffee for a Cause. When we sell coffee to people over the internet, we take a portion of that and we send coffee to troops down the range. And we've gotten pictures like this and emails from folks for the last 5 years thanking us. I spent many days downrange drinking the worst coffee you can imagine. And what was crazy, I was deployed to Central America during the 80s. Some of the best coffee in the world comes out of Central America. And I was drinking terrible Folgers loaded with as much sugar as possible just to be able to get it down your gullet. So very much appreciated when we send stuff to folks overseas. So my wife was my co-founder. We founded the company on September 11th, 2010. We wanted an auspicious start date, so we picked that date. Registered the company, and it took us about 8 months to actually get the company started. We registered it, and then we didn't know what we didn't know. We thought, online sales, it's easy. You get a website, coffee, who doesn't love coffee? You know, let's just do it. And sometimes that's better, not knowing what you're getting yourself into, just like, hold my hand and let's jump off this cliff. And it turned into a great company. So this is our mission: work hard, give back, have fun. You know, I've read all these mission statements. You know, we endeavor to blah blah blah. Work hard, give back, have fun. That's what we do. That's what we believe in, and that's what drives everything we do with the company. So this is our profile. We run it lean and mean. As you know, as an entrepreneur, it always takes twice as long to get lift. You know, you're thinking, I'm going to get lift before that runway ends, and it takes longer. It takes more money than you think. It takes longer. You have setbacks along the way. So my advice is always go as lean as possible. You know, spend money wisely. Focus where you can. So we were initially web-based, both sales and customer service. Our idea was, okay, we're not going to give people a phone number because we don't want to deal with phone calls coming in all day long. They can send in customer service emails, and you know, we can respond when we can get to it, so that we can focus on business. Since then, we found out that we get Facebook messages, we get tweets, we get email. People track down your personal cell phone number. You know, it's somewhere out there. My personal cell phone number is listed, associated with Mockett Java, because I get calls often. But it's worked out really well, and it's helped us, and we can respond rapidly. And we can build templates on issues that come up over and over again. So that's what we did. We are doing retail sales through some trusted partners, and I'll talk a little bit about that later. One other piece of advice: focus on core competencies. So outsource where you can, but control that and make sure you maintain control. You know, these guys. They were talking earlier. That's exactly. I was talking to them. I got their card because we're going to outsource our IT to them. If you spend 10 hours trying to figure out why your printer isn't working, that's 10 hours you could have spent. And trust me, I've done this. You know, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. It's like, I'm going to throw this thing out the window if I don't figure this out. So you know, you can use that time to focus on growing your business and growing your revenues. We did this. We have an outsourced firm that does all our bookkeeping because I didn't want to spend all my time in QuickBooks. use outsource for a lot of our printing and some of our design work and that sort of stuff, because I want to get the people that really know how to do that well. We'll focus on growing the business. I think you win through bold, decisive action. That doesn't mean foolish. That means just saying, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this 100%, and I'm just gonna go for it. And don't be afraid. Just be bold and be decisive. You can talk about something and think about it, and go over it forever and ever. It's ready, fire, aim. Think about it, do it, and then say, "Oh, that didn't quite work. Let's adjust." That served us very well. And then seize the high ground and defend. Anybody who's been in the military knows that once you can get to the high ground, then you can defend it. I can tell you right now, when we started this out, there were no other, military-focused coffee companies. Now there's a dozen, and we've seen them come and go. Because people go, "That's a great idea. I should do that." And for about a year, we see all this stuff, and we notice that their pricing is exactly like our pricing, and all this stuff, and then they sort of fade away. So you're going to have competition. Competition is good, right? Imitation is the best form of flattery, and steel sharpens steel. So competitors help you to get better at your game. So this is what I was talking about. April 2011 was when we finally launched our website. So we started September. It took us that long to get our logo down, figure out how we authorize credit cards, payment gateways. Anybody who does online business, it's second nature now, but at the time I had no idea. It's like, yeah, can't you just get a shopping cart and throw it up there, and you take pictures with a phone, and we progressed as we went, but it took us that long. And what happened was we were selling to friends and family. I'm a firm believer in always reconning. You're going to go out, you're going to recon, figure out where the traps are, and then you deploy. So we went out, we had friends and family. We said, "Hey, come in, buy this from us, and tell us what you think. Tell us what you think of the packaging, how long it took, what you thought of the website." And so we would see the orders come through. In the early days, it's like, "Yeah, my aunt just ordered from us. That's cool. We'll check it out." And we started to see names of people that we didn't know. Well, what was happening is people were coming over to their house, having a coffee, and going, "Wow, this is really good coffee. Where'd you get it?" And so we were like, "Okay, I guess we launched. So let's just go for it." So that's what we did. So I'm going to run through this real quick. I wanted to put this up sort of proof of point. When we were starting out, we had this thing about, this is who we are going to focus on. We had this business plan. Our plan was that we were going to target active duty military, veterans, and then anybody who supported it. And what we found along the way is that no plan survives contact with the enemy, right? You have this plan all set, and then replace enemy with reality. As soon as we hit, we're like, wow, we're not really getting a lot of support from the military. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that huge amounts of coffee consumed. Our coffee is premium. It's not the cheapest coffee out there. And realistically, a lot of people in the military don't have a lot of spending. So we started finding that we really resonated with veterans, and we really resonated with people who supported the military. So this was our target audience. There's 1.5 million. This is the old, if I can get 0.5% of the Chinese market, I'm going to be rich, right? So we went out, we looked at it, we did everything, we figured out, like, okay, what are the numbers? How do they break down by branch? Blah, blah, blah. Well, it turns out that this 1.5 million and this 850K and this 580K didn't get a lot of traction. A little bit, but not a lot. Veterans. So we went to the VFW and we said, "Hey, let's advertise in VFW magazine." I'm a lifetime member of the Veteran of Foreign Wars. And what we realized when we talked to them, they said, well, you know, you're gonna have to get an 800 number for these folks to call in because you have all these older vets that weren't as savvy with the internet. And so we really started honing in and figuring out where our target audience was. I will say that we were pretty accurate, with the exception of Pennsylvania. We were pretty accurate with where the population centers were and where we were going to see a lot of our supporters from. California, Florida, Texas, New York, and Utah, obviously, because we're in Utah. Those are where most of our customers are at. This is where we really hit it. This is where, through our Facebook and through our Twitter and Instagram and stuff, people who never served but really felt an affection for the troops and said, you know, I'm gonna buy coffee because I know that when I buy coffee, they're sending some to those deployed troops downrange. And I appreciate the fact that they're on freedom's frontier and they're defending us and that sort of thing. So that's where we really hit it big. Okay, so here's the results. In 2011, we had $16,000 in revenue. Not a whole lot. We're doing it kind of part-time. So, you know, full disclosure, I'm an entrepreneur. I have 3 jobs, right? This is one of them. Our whole family works at this. We're actually paying our kids now that they're in college, but for a long time it was slave labor, and I fully endorse that.
So they went from slave labor to CEOs?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so my wife likes to say, if you were, you know, paying me minimum wage, I'd be making a lot more money than I am now. But that's the way it is. So last year we did just over 200K in revenues. We're seeing a run rate of about 50% growth. So we're starting to really get the lift. But remember when I told you how long that runway is? We thought in a couple of years, you know, we had these financial projections, you know, 5 years would be $1 million plus. And we're being conservative. It takes longer. It takes longer. And we've learned a lot of hard lessons along the way. So we have over 40,000 Facebook fans. We have over 3,000 Instagram followers. We haven't really had much success with Twitter. Facebook, when I talked to entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs several years ago, I was like, Facebook is the best way, blah, blah, blah. That all changed about a year and a half ago when we used to put posts on Facebook and we would literally get 5,000, 6,000 likes, 40 comments, that sort of thing. Now, if we don't pay for the post, we get 80 likes, 2 comments. Now, if we pay for the post, we'll get, we get several hundred. But Facebook went from being an entrepreneur's best friend to being an effective but increasingly costly way to market. So that's just the way it is. What we've seen some of our friends do is they use their personal account as a way to become a brand ambassador for their own company, and they have more success that way. As a business, it's really difficult.
Do they still have to pay for posts?
What's that?
Do they still have to pay for posts?
No, not on their personal accounts. In their personal accounts, I don't know if there's a different algorithm or how it works, but a lot of people on their personal accounts, they just build that network and they're.
How does a person become a paid ambassador? How do I find somebody that's going to be a paid ambassador?
It's a good question. I mean, some of it is I rely on my research arm, which are my 19 and 22-year-old kids who really understand this, and they're telling me all the time about these people on YouTube that have channels and about this Instagram feed that they love, and it's hard though because you have to figure out what are you targeting. Our target market is not 22-year-olds. And that's part of the reason why the military is very young. The pointy end of the spear is very, very young. And then, it gets older as you go up. That's why a lot of retirees and vets, love our coffee because, you know, they started drinking lifer juice about their eighth year into the military, and now they drink it every day. But the young kids aren't. So we have to kind of balance what our kids are saying with, you know, what is the target audience there. But that's, you know, that's the way to do it. We're working on a program called spokespersons. So, you know, there are people that will post. We've got a blog. We have a broadcast, like a web broadcast. I can't think of the word right now.
Podcast?
A podcast. Yeah, we have a podcast that we do with a younger Marine vet who's just graduating from college. He's very active in Student Veterans of America. He does a great job. He's a fantastic interviewer. And we're using things like that to try and build that social network.
Maybe I missed this. What was your initial, if you can disclose it, or ballpark it, what was your initial marketing outlay to get this going? Was it just the military contracts, or was it?
No, so we started this with the idea of we're going to bootstrap this. We're going really, you know, it's all funded through the bank of Carl Churchill. And so what we did was we used Facebook very religiously early on, and we grew. I mean, I remember the day we're like, yes, we're over 100 Facebook fans. You know, it was like, this is pathetic. We only have 60. It's like, call everybody you know and tell them just to like our page. Now we have 40,000. And so we did do some advertising on Facebook, and we're looking at some advertising on Instagram because we're getting really good traction with Instagram now. I don't know if you know, but Facebook now owns Instagram, but as of right now, Instagram are talking about doing a pay-for feed, and you're seeing a lot more advertisements on there. But I still think those are very effective ways to target. They can target so specifically. There's something you can do on Facebook where you do Facebook ads and you say, I want you to look at the demographics of everybody who's a fan, and then I want you to serve ads to people that look just like this demographic.
Okay.
And they'll do it. And you can say, yeah, and you can do it like just in the state of Texas.
So you don't need $400,000.
No, you don't.
Something.
You know,
Like in the old days.
and they'll work with you. I mean, I have a love-hate relationship.
Maybe contract.
If you go to Facebook and look at, I think it's called Facebook Business or something like that. There, you can look at that and figure that out, and they're pretty good. I have a love-hate relationship with Facebook, so but it's a very effective way to market. So you know, you can see some of the other things. The other thing that we did is we really focused on free press. So we sent out, you know, PR releases all the time. We made personal contacts with people, and we were lucky to get into the Inc. magazine veterans, veteran entrepreneur. They call it their military entrepreneur program. They've been so helpful. We've got to talk to mentors. We go to their conferences. So if you have a way to work with local or you know, groups like that, you can't do this alone. It takes a team. And you can see, so I mentioned no plan survives contact with the enemy, and I want to talk about that real quick. Initially, we thought, hey, we're going to build a brand. We're going to be B2C, business to consumer, and we're going to sell them this, and we're going to, you know, we're just going to kill it. And we realized it's so difficult to do that. It's so difficult to make somebody love your brand and hug your brand and keep reordering it and that sort of thing. And just kind of, we were introduced by a ranger buddy of mine who said, you know, hey, you should talk to these guys. He has a business online, and he was working with a company called Man Crates. So Man Crates does gift baskets for men. Oh yeah. Yeah, so interesting group. They met with us. They said, we're having trouble with our coffee crate. So what they do is they put coffee into a ammo can, and they put like a carabiner mug, and they put like a Cliff Bar, and then you can order it for your uncle or your son or whoever and send it to them as a gift basket. And so they came to us and we worked something out. We said, we're really more business to consumer, but yeah, we'll work with you guys. So they were hard negotiators and they said, you know what, let's just take a chance. Last month they ordered $18,000 worth of coffee. So they have become a huge part of our business. And we suddenly went, ding, you know, one order 18,000 or, you know, 1,000 orders at $30, you know, or 500 orders at $30.
Is this like factored or is it cash and carry or finance?
So so that was the hard thing for us was part of our theory was if you have an online business, you're collecting that credit card right up front and then you're shipping. Okay, so you can do that. With them, we're now that we're getting into more retail and reseller type situations, we're having to offer terms. So it's a difficult dance. You gotta
Military contracts, I heard are military contracts.
You really can't make mistakes with those people.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we haven't really cracked the code on the military contracts yet. We're really selling still business model and consumers. We are moving into the corporate world. USAA is a very big insurance company. They love us. They're starting to serve us in their financial centers, and we expect great things from them. So I'll go through this real quickly. We were talking before, this is how you can finance things. We burned the boats on the shore. We liquidated our life savings and said, we're all in. That's part of the reason why we stuck through it, you know, so long, is that we just burned the boats on the shore and kept going. But there's all kinds of ways that you can do this. You know, my advice is be careful. Be careful about, you know, people always, like I said, it takes longer, it costs more. Be careful because you're not going to get rich overnight.
What's HELOC?
So that's it. It's actually a HELOC, a home equity line of credit. So you can go and you can basically take out a second mortgage on your loan and finance it. So this is how we leveraged and accelerated. I talked about the social networks that we used. We used like-minded allies. So we talked to other veteran-owned businesses. We learned from them. They talked about us with their folks. We did a thing with some other military online retailers that sold T-shirts and like bottle openers that were 50 cal rounds and stuff like that. And they allowed us to put coupons in there. We said, hey, this just helps you. We offer a discount to your folks to buy our stuff. We'll put your coupons in ours. We tried a few things to see what we could do, but you can't do it by yourself. Mill bloggers were really good. Mill spouse bloggers, military wives that were blogging were really good. We'd send them some free coffee and we say, write whatever you want about it. You know, if you don't like it. And we had some things like, it's too strong, I don't like it, you know, but we had like 95% of the said, I gave it to my husband or whatever, he took it in and everybody loved it. So we did that. Free press, print ads are dead. We did West Point magazine. We thought, hey, this would be great. All these West Pointers, blah, blah, blah. We spent $5,000 on an ad and got 4 customers. So painful lessons. That's why I'm sharing it with you. Print ads are just dead. They just don't work.
What do you really think, Carl?
Yeah. I'm not opinionated, right? So they didn't take calculated risks.
Does that include the ads in newspapers? I believe they're dead also.
It depends on your demographic. So we're an online retailer. So for us, print ads just don't make sense. If your demographic is a newspaper reader, it can work. You know, I mean, I just think it's really hard to cut through all the clutter, and just referral marketing is a great way to go. And you don't have to really tell your customers, like, you're going to get a free bag of coffee if somebody signs up. It's, you know, we'll say all the time, like, hey, help spread the word. If you believe in what we're doing, tell all your friends about it. And when we send out a MailChimp, I'll go to the next one. Yeah. In younger days, I've aged 20 years in the last 5 years. Well, what we used was we used MailChimp religiously. So it's email marketing. Still works, still successful with our demographic. It works great. You know, occasionally we send out ways to say, you know, we give discounts. But a lot of times we're just like, hey, if you love our coffee, let people know. It's the only way we're going to grow. We're a small business. We appreciate your support. And then we'll see, you know, 40 orders, like from people we've never heard of. So this is my advice from the front lines. Number one, work hard. You just can't get around that. The harder you work, the better you are. You know, and a lot of this is based on luck. And as Thomas Edison said, the harder I work, the luckier I get. So you work hard, you're disciplined. It's just going to take a lot of hard work. Be honest and think win-win. I'll give you an example. We just heard back from our man crates, and they said, hey, it turns out that we were short by 18 bags of coffee. Well, we know because we have processes in place where you have one person who packs, one person who counts and stacks it up, the other person puts it in the box and counts it up. They confirm. So we know we sent them the right amount. Somebody at their incoming warehouse probably said, oh, these new bags are cool. You know, I'm going to take a few of these. And they told us, you know, there were 19 bags missing. And we very politely wrote back, said, you know, we have this process, we did this, blah, blah, blah. But we always make it right for our customers. There's 19 more bags on the way. So, you know, don't step over pennies. You know, don't step over dollars to pick up pennies. You know, be smart about it. Think win-win. What's going to be win-win here? I want to be honest with them and say, we know that they weren't missing, and you know, implied is you might want to talk to your warehouse team, but also we're going to make it right. So be disciplined. The amount of effort that you put into something, the results are directly proportional. If you spend 4 hours a day answering the email game and getting caught in that, you have to say, like, what I do is I say, at the end of the day, I answer emails. And I've got a set amount of time for that, and it's usually like an hour and a half. It usually ends up going 3 hours, but that cuts into, you know, watching The Walking Dead or whatever. But, you know, during the day, it's like there are set times that we do set things. You know, 1 hour of strategic thinking, 1 hour of marketing, 1 hour of this. You know, I break it up, and I'm very, very disciplined about how we do it. We're very disciplined in our processes. You know, we're not going to get these 2 orders out today, but we need to stick to our process of double counting everything. Give back. This is what, you know, really makes us feel good, is when we get, you know, this is from our military kids. You know, we donated some money to them, and we got this thing that says, your generous donation has allowed me to participate in karate. I like this activity because it helps me to protect my body. And I was like, that is pretty cool. Kaylee's pretty cool. And so we put that, you know, when those long days, or when you're tired, or when, you know, you didn't make that much money that week, we look at these things and, you know, feel good about what we do. Oops, I went the wrong way. And then do good. You know, do good things for good people. It just, that's why we work, right? We put so much, when you're an entrepreneur, you're working 60, 80 hours a week. So do something that makes you feel good, you know? Find allies to help, right? So you can't do this by yourself. Find people that are mentors, people that want to work with you, want to help you. Find other businesses where you can help them and they can help you. You know, you can't do it alone. You got to have a team. And then have fun. You know, we have fun while we do this. We go out and we do these these events, we make sure that while we're doing that, we're meeting with people that we have fun with. You know, whether it's Pat's Run, we went down and we did a page where people, our customers donated. We had a group of us that all ran, and the Pat Tillman Run. We did the National Disabled Veterans event. We sponsored that, and I got to shake with guys who were shooting out of wheelchairs and, you know, tell lies to each other about what big warriors we are and all that stuff. Had a lot of fun. We worked with some military motorcycle clubs to support that. It's nothing like the rumble of a Harley, right? So, you know, have fun with that kind of stuff. And then, you know, we've done all kinds of things. Some of them were, we went to the GI Film Festival and did some stuff with that. We literally drove in our little Honda Civic from Utah to Washington, D.C. with all of our stuff in the back. And then we were there for 3 days and we drove back. So over a 5-day period, we did that. And it didn't result in a lot of business, but it was fun. You know, it was kind of crazy. We drank a lot of coffee in there too. Whoops. So, sorry for taking so long. Any questions, anything I can answer for anyone?
Q&A, I've got a microphone if you've got a mouth.
And I'm happy to talk to anybody afterwards too, if you want to talk one-on-one.
So where is it that you source your coffee from?
Good question. Yeah, so we source our coffee everywhere from Ethiopia to Guatemala to Papua New Guinea. And again, you know, focusing on what we're good at, we partnered with a roaster. We tried to find one in Utah, and we couldn't find one that would partner with us, that we were impressed enough with the quality of their coffee. I'm not a roaster. I don't know how to roast. I know the military. I love coffee. I know what I like in coffee. I know the taste I like. So we spent 2 months. Part of that time between September 11th and April of the next year was drinking a heck of a lot of coffee, and cupping and trying it and saying, well, if we put a little bit more Ethiopian into this blend, it'll mellow this out, or it'll give it this flavor. The Costa Rican has a nice kind of caramel touch to it. So we partnered with a roaster who's been fantastic. They're not veterans there, but they support veterans. And what we loved about them is they work with small farms all over the world where they lend them money to make them better farms so that they process their coffee more consistently. They lend them money at no interest. And we were like, yeah, that's the kind of organization we want to work with. So we get it from all over. It's all the best. It's like the top 2% of coffee. So
it's not just one specialty.
No, it's not. It's we do lots of different mini specialties. Yeah, that's right.
So we're a little bit over what we'd like to do in the first hour. So out of respect to people's schedules, going back to work, I'd like to be able to adjourn and express appreciation. Carl's going to be here a little bit afterwards. If any of you have any further questions that you have, please feel free to address those. Please, a big hand for Carl Churchill. Thanks. So this is going to be the first of many of our webcasts that we're going to be doing in conjunction with Microsoft, Accelerant, which is my company, SL Circle, as well as many other participants such as the University of Utah and other people that are involved in this. We have people in the audience that want to be able to create environments where we have a master apprenticeship for JavaScript. We have people in the audience that want to be able to extend opportunities and training for IT and micro data centers. We have minority business owners that do different things like grant writing and fantastic things in our own Linda Rossi. We've got Phil Hazer, who's going to make sure that all of us have some way to survive once the singularity takes off, and is working with everything from robotics to everything else. We've got VR specialists, we have international specialists, and everything else. It's a fantastic circle to be in. We appreciate all of you participating in it, and this week's kind of a little bit of overkill because, you know, it's Small Business Week, but again, what we're doing with Microsoft, we're just starting with the partnership, and we're very much looking forward to it. You can find the YouTube events on youtube.com. Just search up SL Circle, and we very much appreciate your time. And we'll see you next time in the circle.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, I'll stop it.
Yeah, with a card and a bowl.
Yeah, for some reason I thought it was a touch screen. Let me see. Where's your mouse at? Come on. Where is the mouse? Oh, there you go.